What's good, my peeps? Janucka Big Rucker back at you again with another action figure review, this time courtesy of Hasbro, Marvel Legends. And what you see before you is something unique, something unusual. That being, this is a Spider-Man retro card, which isn't unusual. We've seen them before. However, what is unusual is that you see that sticker right there. This is part of the Spider-Man 60 Amazing Years campaign. And this is the first and only figure in this campaign, of which several figures and sets have come out to have this sticker on it. So we get a double whammy here. This is part of the retro card line for Spider-Man, and it's also simultaneously part of the 60 Amazing Years campaign. So that's cool. So what you see, the figure and all of its accessories in the packaging, and you already know I dined on myself. You already know I've got two of them because you're looking at the one that's already out of the packaging, looking right back at you. So what we're going to do is move Mr. Connors, Dr. Connors, out of the way, and then take a look at the back of the figure. And what we have is more artwork of Marvel's Lizard and a sketch showing how to apply his accessories. We also have a readout, which is as follows. Desperate to be whole again, geneticist Curt Connors injects himself with a regenerative serum derived from reptile DNA, only to find himself transformed into the monstrous lizard. Yes, indeed. And the lizard has been drawn in many different incarnations over the years, but this figure highlights his original form, his classic form, where you know, he looks like a as far as the head sculpt is concerned, a big gecko, and so he's basically molded the way how he used to be back in the 60s and 70s. And yeah, there's an additional head that's more lizard-like, but we'll take a look at that when we get our boy Liz out of the packaging. But we already know that he's out of packaging, don't we? So we'll just get right to having him on our rotating base. And at first glance, I'm sure you guys have already noticed he's missing something. That would be his tail. This is how he came out of packaging. You saw when you looked at the retro card that his tail is a separate piece, and we will go over his accessories. But before we do, what I need you guys to do is to go down below and like this video. Go ahead, you can do that right now. Like this video while Liz is spinning round and round and round. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Do a brother a solid on that score. So while you're doing that, and while the lizard is going round and round and round, we will take a look at his accessories. First of which would be his additional head sculpt. This is that more reptilian sculpt that I just spoke of. You see it's got teeth, got the tongue coming out. It's almost a mini version of it looks like a lizard. It's not like the Build-A-Figure, which we'll see later in the video, which had a dinosaurian kind of look, a Jurassic Park raptor. But you see it's got the eyes with the slitted pupils, and like I said, that nice tongue. Scalation is good. The wash in the scales are definitely nice. So this is a nice addition. Our lizard also comes with an additional set of hands. He's got a right fist and a left C-grip or grasper hand, what I colloquially call the gripper. And you see it's got the scales, the line work, and whatever. So definitely needed because of the next set of accessories. That being these vials, flasks, whatever you want to call these. And you see they've got two different colored contents, we'll call them, and you see how they were inserted there from the bottom. So pretty good. You got one that's red and one that's like an amber color. So definitely pretty interesting accessories right there. And bringing up the rear, no pun intended, or maybe it was, is the missing part of our lizard, and that would be the tail, which you see is applied via a peg hole, and the peg is there on the rear of Dr. Connor's hindquarters there. You can tell from these holes that this is bendy wire, so that's pretty cool right there. So what we're going to do next, before we do anything else, is we're going to apply the tail. And this might be regarded as disturbing. We go to the next cut scene, and all you could see is, we'll call it the backside of the lizard, but that's for a good reason. See, lifting up his lab coat, you see the peg that I spoke of. Here's the tail with the peg hole, and you just apply it. Wiggle it in there till it's in there, and voila, there's the lizard's tail. So now that we've applied the tail, we can spin our reptilian friend around and get a frontal view close-up of him. And as you can see, he has his classic head on, the more gecko-like look, no teeth, mouth is open. Look at the profile there. That's definitely classic lizard. As you can see, if you look at those beady eyes, big white eyes, but the pupils are small and beady. Looking at that tongue, that's all he's got is the tongue, no teeth, and you see the ridges that comprise his lips. And as far as his scales go, he's got a nice wash in there, darkened in from the green. The head, of course, is molded in green. Got some nice scales there. I almost feel like I'm doing a dino review, like I do on my other channel, Brachiosaurus Rex. Shameless plug. You into dinos, other prehistoric animals? Go check that out. Anyhow, back to this particular reptile. So yeah, that's that head going down. We can see that his body is molded in black, and he's got the overlay for the lab coat, which just goes over the arms there. His arms are molded in white, and then of course he's got his green arms coming through. I'm sure they're molded in white. Let me make sure. The one way I can tell is if there's any paint that's seeping through, but no, molded in white. Yeah, there you go. That's always the dead giveaway, the joints where they move. So yeah, definitely molded in white. And his green, his arms, of course, wrists coming through, the torn sleeves, and then there are the hands, open hands. One is semi-grasping like it's trying to clutch something. The other one is just totally open, like it was sticking to the wall like a gecko would. There you go. Then we've got the pants there, purple. Something about Marvel with green and purple. Don't know what's up with that, but yeah, the pants, his lower torso extremities molded in that purple. Then of course the same deal where after the tattered pant legs, you've got the bare legs coming through, molded in green, and you've got some line work there you can see. And then our lizard boy, look at those toes. Like I said, it's like they took their inspiration from geckos back in the day, Stan and Steve Ditko. And you see how wide they are, and look how big they are. You should have zero problem standing this guy. Then turning to the back, we've got that tail that we just got through applying, and as you can see, it tapers off nicely. Got the sections scalation, and of course, once again, you see the holes that signify that this is indeed bendy wire. And then you got the rest. Doc has his collar turned up like he's just a cool cat, and yep, there we go. Even the lizard's articulation, his head is on a ball hinge, so he could look up that far, look down, but then also his neck is separate, and that's on a dumbbell, so you get some nice movement with that neck to help with the articulation there. He can 360 that head as far as his arms, shoulders. Nice clicking sound. He can get it to 90. He can rotate 360. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got double jointed pinless elbows. Gotta love that. And of course he's got the wrist rotation and horizontal hinge, which is emulated on the other side, and on his extra hands as well. As far as the torso, he's got a diaphragm. He's got diaphragm action. Let's see if I can do this, because he also has other action too. He can go forward about that much, and he can go back, but the lab coat is going to impede somewhat. He also has an ab crunch as well. So that combined with his diaphragm can get him some nice movement there. So that far forward, that far back, that's just crazy. As far as his legs go, he can do the splits that far. He can get his legs almost 90. He's got the thigh cut. He's got double jointed pinless knees. He does have articulation where he can point those big hooves that far forward. You can get his patas this far up, which isn't really that much. You would think it would be a little bit more, that if they would have done a little bit more of a cut at the top of his foot, he'd be able to get more range, but he doesn't, so it is what it is. He does have ankle pivot, and you know what time it is. Holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, his tail can rotate around that ball, that peg, as well as, utilizing the bendy wire. Here's the lizard with his other set of hands, and of course he's grasping one of his, I still can't think of the word, vials. There we go. I'm just going to go with that. You guys can correct me down in the comments below. And here he is with his more reptilian looking head sculpt, and the other beaker. That's what it's called, a beaker. It finally came to me. Now comparing our retro-carded 60 Amazing Years lizard with the Build-A-Figure of the same name from a few years back, you can see a lot of the big differences here. Obviously the size, the color of green that they both have differently. Our retro card is brighter and more reminiscent of the actual character. And even though I have the reptilian head, the more reptilian head on our retro, you can clearly see that on, turn them the other way, on our Build-A-Figure, it's more of a dinosaur style head. It looks like a raptor with a long tongue, and that's one of the things that both the reptilian head and the Build-A-Figure have in common. They both are blazing long tongues. Obviously there he goes leaning back. Obviously the retro's tongue isn't as long as the Bath's, but you see what it is. The other glaring difference are the tails. We get bendy wire tail with our retro, as you can see, but with the Bath, we got this sectional tail, which, I mean, for the time it was cool. We didn't, it was what it was, but it was, it just doesn't look good. Tails don't look like that. That's not a seamless look at all. So that's what we got there. And the whole articulation setup on the Bath was problematic at best, to say the least. And of course, you knew we had to line him up next to he who kicked the retro series off, We're talking about the superposable Spider-Man. And if you're wondering why I'm always using the superposable instead of the new ultraposable that came in the Spinneret Renew Your Vows 2-pack, it's because I have both Spinneret and ultraposable in a DTOF, and they're both in, shall we say, precarious poses that I am just not in the mood to, have to worry about getting them back in that pose. So here we are. Before we wrap this up, let's get a quick measurement of our lizard. Dr. Connors is standing at approximately 6 1/4 inches tall. So to sum it all up, our Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Card /60 Amazing Years Lizard, Classic Lizard, is a straight winner. I'm glad we got it. A Classic Lizard was definitely needed in the collection. It was demanded for several years. I think even more so after the Build-A-Figure came out. You know how it goes. We get a character that we wanted a certain way, but we don't get it that way. And then, we wait a little while and then we get that character the way how we wanted it. So here it is. You see I've got the reptilian head sported on right now. I've been fluctuating back and forth. He came with some nice accessories. That reptilian head is an accessory. He comes with an additional fist for the right hand, and for the left he's got a C grip or grasper / gripper. He comes with 2 beakers, one amber and the other crimson red, looking like they're potions or serums or whatever you want to call them. And of course he comes with the bendy tail, which is a great effect. So yeah, pretty nice figure there, and it's a welcome addition to my collection, and I'm sure it will be a welcome addition to yours. This is a Walmart exclusive. Keep that in mind. This is Walmart exclusive. I think they are currently out of stock. I don't know. They might be in. We got to do is go to Walmart and check if you don't have one and you're interested in getting one for yourself. So that's going to do it for this review. Please like, share, and definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you have any concerns, questions, critiques, hit me with them down there in the comment section. And of course, if you want to be notified the next time I upload a video, hit that bell, and notified you shall be on behalf of Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard. I am the Ruckus, leaving you with this. Remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.